A new bombshell Pokemon 151 product is on the way. Though before I get into that, for today's video, I am gifting yet another Sneasler V alternate art. So I actually gave away this alt art in a previous video, which has already been now sent and posted. Though I think what surprised me was just how many people wanted this in their collection. Now, to know if you won the card, if I reply to your comment and you get this specific Mew emoji, then well done, you've got this card being sent your way. And of course, if it is your first time here, my name is Phil and I'm a marketing professional who runs this Pokemon collecting and investing YouTube channel. So definitely feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you on board. And of course, if you do love the content and would love to show some additional support, please feel free to join channel memberships. They really do make a big difference. Now, here's the thing, right? Pokemon 151 has some really exciting news, which I'm about to go into right now. Though before I go into the new products they're releasing, I just want to say this is probably a good time to address that this is the biggest pain point that most consumers would be feeling that's kind of being alleviated with this news. 151 prices have been skyrocketing in the last few weeks, and I think a lot of people have had to make a very hard decision. People are thinking, do I buy Pokemon 151 singles now and complete my master set, or do I potentially wait for some new stock or a reprint to make sure I don't have to overpay? Well, given the news that's come about, I feel the decision has now become a lot easier, though it will be incredibly interesting to see what will happen with the prices of singles, which I'm about to go into right now. All right, here we go with 151 products seemingly coming out of nowhere, and this is PokeBeach. So they have an article, and here it says, we can reveal a new Blooming Waters premium collection that will release in the US, Europe, and other countries in February 2025. Hopefully Australia is on the list. It does say US and Europe and other countries, so hopefully it gets distributed to a lot of different countries outside of Europe and US, but nonetheless, this is great to see some product coming in. Now, yes, it is not a technical reprint of ETBs and UPCs, what kind of a lot of people were expecting, but nonetheless, you do get 12 booster packs of 151 along with 4 promo cards, a jumbo card, and a code card. So pretty big news, because obviously this is going to come out at retail price, and it's very likely that they're going to go heavy, just like they did with the Japanese 151 reprint earlier this year. Though if we keep going here, more news on 151, that Japanese distributor listings have revealed that Pokemon 151 is getting re-released in Japan with booster boxes that will be available at Pokemon Center and retails in December of this year. Huge news for Japanese Pokemon 151, huge news for English 151, though there is a lot of things that need to be unpacked here. Okay, so if you haven't been kept up with the news, right, Pokemon 151 singles have been exploding in value just within the last few weeks. Like, prices have been going crazy. I mean, the Charizard literally doubled within the last few days. It's kind of tapered off a little bit. Venusaur, Blastoise, everything has gone up, right? Sealed product has also gone up. And I think what happened is a lot of people, including myself, were thinking, hey, we're going into the Christmas period. We are literally a month and a bit away from Christmas. We kind of expected that Pokemon would have announced a reprint where you could kind of pre-order your Pokemon 151 UPC or your ETB. That was kind of what was expected. Though, given the fact that it's been literally radio silence for such a long time, I think this caused a lot of collectors to think, hey, it's now or never. We need to now buy these singles because who knows, is a reprint happening? It's been way too long. And funnily enough, now the news has come in, and I think this is going to have a huge impact on the market. Though, you know, looking at this, right, I'm just on PSA's Pop Reports, right? So I just want to take you through just the big three, right? The Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise. Check this out on how many have been sent into grade. The Venusaur Special Illustration Rare has had 11,256 copies sent to grade. That is a lot of copies, man. Like, given the fact that it's just over a year old, that's a lot of copies that have been sent in. Now, looking at the Blastoise has had 13,000 copies sent into grade. That is a lot of copies getting sent into PSA. And then, of course, the Charizard has had a whopping 22,500 copies sent in to get graded at PSA. So you can see we're dealing with enormous numbers. So the population of these cards is really high. And given the fact that how popular Pokemon 151 is and the original 151 Pokemon, it's kind of no surprise. But, you know, when you look at these pop reports, technically, as much as there is a huge demand for it, you could also argue that, hey, Pokemon have really printed this thing into the ground. Though, given the fact that the demand is there, it still deserves a reprint. Like, literally, one of the most common things that happens on this channel, if I look at the comments, like, every day there's someone, hey, is there any news about 151? Are we going to get a 151 reprint? Like, what's going on? What's going on? It is such a common thread, man. Like, people really really, really love this set. It's no surprise, right? It is like, when you look at base set, this is a revolutionized base set. So it's just very desired as a set, okay? And I think a lot of people just cannot wait to get their hands on Pokemon 151 because, you know, if you did miss out, if you just got reintroduced, let's say you were collecting Twilight Masquerade, you were kind of at the tail end of when 151 was still affordable. Now it's getting out of the realms of common sense where you're kind of like, do I really want to pay double, or, you know, it's approaching triple the price for an ETB when, you know, it's getting quite messy and quite muddy. But given the fact that this news is coming about, I think it's really good. Though I want to look at some of the prices and what I think is going to happen with the singles. So here I am on the Charizard. Now, as you can see, I'm on the 3-month graph. You guys can see here, right? On August 13 to August 15 this year, I'm selling for 119 USD for a raw copy. Quite expensive, nothing crazy for a Pokemon card. It was kind of like a decently priced Pokemon single, nothing like we've seen much more expensive. But you can see here, just in like literally, it went all the way to 217, pretty much close to doubling in price within a few weeks, right? And then you can see now it's tapered off and it's kind of gone down. I'm going to go on the month graph here. And you can see here the Charizard's definitely had quite a little bit of a dip here from 223 to 202. I think with this news, expect the prices to now get pulled down a fair bit. Now, we obviously don't know how big the restock is going to be, but I can confidently say if it's anything like Japanese 151, the Pokemon is going to go quite heavy with this, especially as it feels like this is a closing chapter for Pokemon 151. So I feel like right now, if you're in the hobby, this is kind of your opportunity to buy some product because I don't know if you're going to get another opportunity. Even with me, I was well and truly thinking that, hey, ETBs and UPCs would at least get some sort of reprint right now. So the fact that we haven't had anything like this for a while, I think that this might be a closing chapter, but definitely I think the singles will kind of have a very, very sharp decline. I'm looking at the Venusaur as well. Check this out, man. Like, I'm on the year graph. Look at how ridiculous that is on the graph. That is literally just spiked crazy. If I look here right now, September 24 is on $49 and now it's on, what is it, $79. I mean, looking at that graph just annoys me. I don't know why. That just annoys me. Like, it's just like everyone just went so hard, like when they saw that the Charizard got sold out, and then it's like, oh no, we need to buy Venusaur now. So and I own this Venusaur. I mean, it just kind of, I don't know, it rubbed me up the wrong way seeing it explode like this. I don't know. I just feel like it really needs to be tapered down. So right now it's sitting at $76. If I pull that on the month graph right now, I'm really hoping that this news pulls this card, and you can see it's had some small little dip, nothing crazy, but I'm really hoping that this goes back to a $50 card just because I don't think it was a genuine, it felt very artificial how it just kind of climbed like this crazy in value. I mean, like I said, I'm in that year graph now, just look at that ridiculous spike, and that all happened because the Charizard exploded in value the week prior. So everyone's like, oh, now we need to get Venusaur. It is a great card. You know, I definitely don't value this as a $70 card, given the fact it's not as crazy as something like an Espeon or a, you know, Sylveon VMAX from Evolving Skies or any of the Chilling Reign arts. You know, it's much more easier to pull these special illustration rares. So, you know, the price is definitely feeling a little bit artificial. Now, same thing here with the Blastoise. You can see it's the same thing as the Venusaur. Look at that. I mean, just, it was out of nowhere. It was 42 USD in July, and now it's sitting at $77. And what's funny, it was like 2 weeks ago, it was 52 US. You know, look at that month graph. It is just kind of wild, man. Like when I see that, it is just going too high too quickly. And I'm very, very grateful that we've had this restock, reprint, new product come about, because definitely these prices need to get pushed down. It's not that old of a set, nor do I think that these cards are that crazy rare. Like, I mean, Evolving Skies, or even like when you look at Astral Radiance Alt Arts or Chilling Reign Alt Arts, they made a little bit more sense given the fact that the pull rates were far more rare, like way more rare than these. They are rare, but not to the level that they are getting the prices. And I definitely think that this should go back to a $50 USD card. And I really hope that the price does get pulled down. And we're going to probably start seeing the effects of this in the market quite soon. It's not going to be February when you see it, because obviously once the reprint happens and people get their hands on it, then the prices can even go further. But with this news, I'm really glad, because I think that the singles are now going to be kept at bay, thankfully, as you can see with the prices that they're getting. Same thing with the Zapdos as well. I'm just going to pull that into the 6-month graph, and you can see it was quite consistent in price. You can see this area here was quite consistent, and then of course with the recent news of what's happening with Charizard, it went from $37 all the way to $50. But, you know, hasn't been obviously as big as the Venusaur or the Blastoise, and definitely nothing near the Charizard, but you can see it has hit its yearly high as well. So hopefully as well that this Zapdos can go down a little bit in value as well. Moving on to the Alakazam, you can see now this is having an upwards trend as well. And of course, I'm pulling this into the year graph and you can see it's on its yearly high, but I think with these new restocks, like I said, with all the rest of these, it's gonna pull the prices down. Some cool things to see about the sealed products. So the 151 booster packs, these are currently at their maximum that they've ever been in history, sitting at $8.73 per pack. And again, I think these are going to be very likely to climb down. And of course, when we're looking at the ETBs as well, these are kind of hitting a new high in the market at 97 USD per ETB. Definitely likely. Now, this is going to be interesting. Are the collectors and the investors going to be looking at holding on the ETB? Are they going to be a product that people want to keep? Are people going to be wanting just to open the 151 packs, or is the ETB a collectible in and that of itself, right? So this is going to be interesting, though I wouldn't be surprised as well if we see the ETB stall a little bit or even go down in price as well, because, a lot of people want the packs. 151 is notoriously known for getting a master set for. Like, just because it's so reminiscent of base set and, the 1999 base set, everyone tried to do their master sets back in the day. It had a very big pull and it kind of encouraged people to do a master set. There was a big thing. A lot of people liked to get a 151 master set. So I definitely think that the packs are far more the golden nuggets in this than the ETB. Something like Rebel Clash, the packs aren't what's making it valuable. It's the collectible of having a Rebel Clash ETB because they're so rare having it packaged. I don't think the 151 ETB has that allure. I think it's much more to do with the content inside the pack. And of course, we can see the UPC as well. This was sitting in November last year. If you were buying this last year, 95 USD, and now it's sitting at 197. Quite ridiculous in pricing, though. Again, the UPC may be an interesting one. I think that this could potentially hold its value a bit better than the ETB, given the fact that the UPC has those unique promos. You got the metal cards. There is a little bit more things going for the UPC than the ETB because you only get the Snorlax promo in there. I don't think that has enough of a pull power like the UPC or the Pokemon Center exclusive ETB. Though as well, while we're sitting on that, I'm just looking at price charting as well because the TCG player doesn't have Japanese Pokemon products. What we can see on price charting, it's looking at the Japanese Scarlet and 151 booster box is sitting at 105 US. This is probably going to go back down to like that 70 or 65 USD mark, depending on how big the reprint is, but very likely. I didn't really expect that Japanese 151 would be getting another reprint. That's pretty big news as well. So, we've got a lot of things, but I think the singles are where I'm really focusing on, and I think the singles are really going to get drawn down. Now, I don't know if we want to even use the word reprint because I guess it's a new product entirely. It's not like we're getting ETBs or UPCs reprinted per se, but we are getting a lot of 151 product, and I'm very, very interested to see what's going to happen with the market. Now, with all this said, Pokemon 151 singles will likely begin crashing quite heavily in value, seeing as the rise was attributed to having absolutely no news about any reprint or restocks. Though, it does feel that this will be the last time we experience a 151 reprint or restock, and it seems that this chapter is finally closing. Though one of the key areas is buying Pokemon products before they rise widely in value, and if you want to see the best Pokemon investments that are under $10 right now, then click this video on screen right here. Within this video, I uncover the 10 best Pokemon cards under $10, which every collector can take advantage of right now. Buying budget-friendly cards is always awesome, so click that video that's appearing on screen and I'll see you there.